Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about the fact that the WNBA this year is the fastest growing brand in the U.S. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so at the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. So, a new report came out, Rob, and the WNBA is clocked in as the fastest growing brand among all U.S. adults, 3.82 percentage point increase. And the league was also notable growth among men and older generations. The brands are ranked by measuring growth in the share of consumers who say they would consider purchasing from a brand over the course of a year. So this is a pretty big deal. According to Instagram posts from Boardroom, this year marks the first time a sports league has been number one on the fastest growing brands list, as well as the first time a women's league has appeared in any of the lists. So that's cool. I wonder why this. Go ahead, Rod. Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder why. So it's the NBA brand itself, the NBA having it coming out, and this. Oh, here we are at WNBA, and people are like flocking to the stores to buy WNBA brand merchandise.
You wonder why that happened, Rob?
I already know, Mark. We already know.
So yeah, they were number one. Ben & Jerry's was number two, and then there was an iced tea number three. And there was actually two ice creams and two iced teas in the top 20. Haagen-Dazs was the other. I actually think Haagen-Dazs is a much better ice cream than Ben & Jerry's, but Ben & Jerry's has fun flavors and people like that.
Right.
Also a quote, Rob, and this person must have got the script because this is from Morning Consult report. Ellen Briggs said, from Clark's ongoing rivalry with fellow rookie Angel Reese to Asia Wilson's historic MVP campaign, the WNBA season had no shortage of discourse sparking storylines, and discussed people did. The shares of both U.S. adults and sports fans are reported having recently seen, read, or heard something positive about WNBA nearly doubled between January and September of 2024. I wonder why. January, let's see, who entered the WNBA in the spring? Oh, Caitlyn Clark.
Oh, yeah.
So peanut butter and jelly's there. They mentioned Caitlyn Clark, so they have to mention Angel Reese.
That feud, that definitely, how many games did they play against each other? 3 or 4 games, I think.
4. But it looks like the script was written by the WNBA and they emailed it over to the Morning Consult so they could say that.
I think so. Sounds like it.
Because we know that Caitlyn Clark was responsible for probably about 90% of this growth. I would say because her attendance growth was 50 to 60%. And then some of the additional attendance was overflow from her popularity and people checking out other people. And then in the television ratings, it was like 22 out of 23 that have over 1 million were her. And so realistically, if you're looking at it, she was probably around somewhere between 75 and 95% for the growth because they were growing a little bit, but I would say around 90%. But they make it sound like it's 50% her and 50% everything else, which isn't even close to the truth.
But Mark, they're tooting their horn with this brand thing, yet they won't give any kind of reason, like you said. Why do people are looking? Why do you think your brand went up? You didn't even promote this person, this player who improved your attendance and improved your people, like they said, watching the game. Yet you give her no props for that. There was no props at all.
Right. Well, here's what the real result is, and this is what the Caitlyn Clark people said. It was all the Caitlyn Clark effect, and that's true. And one person said it's actually insane how one person managed to save an entire league in 42 games. Might go really one of one. And that's true. That's really what the truth is. Now, if you go to like the Indiana Fever newspaper, this is how he really should have read instead of saying, oh, it was all these factors besides Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark came into the WNBA, helped the league reach new heights in terms of popularity. Her arrival helped them compete with bigger leagues in terms of viewership, while also massive increases in merchandise sales and reach have fueled that growth. In their official communication prior to the Olympic break, it was clear that the Indiana Fever superstar led the league in merchandise sales. At the same time, she also was instrumental into packing arenas where she played. Now, that's really
That's a perfect article. That's the perfect
right.
article. That's a true no article, no bias or anything. It's fact. I mean, it's fact. That's the fact. That's the fact, Jack. Yes.
Right. Then they went on and said the growth in popularity helped the league as a whole, as other players and franchises saw their popularity rise. Despite that, some tried to disregard her impact by suggesting the league was bound to grow. Now, it was growing a little bit, and it would have grown anyways, but it would have grown 10% instead of the fact that it grew around 50%, and that was because of Caitlyn Clark. So,
and it would have grown more if they had promoted her.
I think so. I think they held back their own brand.
Yeah, they held back their own brand, that's what I mean. It was just stupid. You could have had even more,
No, they didn't want that, Rob.
No, they don't want. They're like I said, they got that script. They got to follow that.
Right. Well, they do. Supposedly, this is a way they respond and say they consider purchasing in Q3 compared to Q1. Quarter 1, quarter 3. I know they did this study between brands and stuff like that, and that was the one that grew the fastest, according to how they rank things. So it's no surprising the WNBA did grow a lot, and that just shows you that Caitlyn Clark is the biggest draw in sports, and the biggest, at least in the United States. She's the biggest name in sports, and will continue to be the following year, next year. I don't think that's going to change any unless someone comes out of the woodwork in sports. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's not this next year. It started in college, which they didn't want to acknowledge. It started in college. This is going to go through her whole career, no matter what.
I agree. Whether she'll remain the most popular athlete in the country her entire career is what I was always suggesting.
Right.
Maybe not. Someone else could come around. But next year, unless someone comes out of the woodwork, Travis Hunter is an exciting college player, but I don't think you're going to get Caitlyn Clark mania with him. And I don't think you're going to get, Cooper Flagg as a great 17-year-old player in college basketball right now, but he's not Michael Jordan exciting. So I don't see that happening anywhere else.
No,
we already know who Patrick Mahomes is, and he hasn't moved the needle to that degree.
There was no comparison. I mean, like you said, if Travis Hunter gets drafted, he's not going to fill the stadiums. If Flagg, when he comes out, he's not going to. I mean, they'll come and watch him play, but as far as filling the arenas and having that effect and what they talk about the brand, it won't even come close. There's not going to be people wearing all these jerseys and stuff. It's just that I don't know. It's just people who just turn it aside. It's amazing. They don't want that. I don't know what they're afraid of. What are they so afraid of?
I just showed you. I think this shows you what a great accomplishment Caitlyn Clark had in terms of how much she helped this league grow. That even the brand is now seen favorably. So before, nobody even knows what the brand was, or they had an unfavorable view of the brand. I think people liking Caitlyn Clark is really what the favorable brand rating was. It wasn't like, because the other women in the league aren't very likable. So neither is the league.
Right.
This all has to do with Caitlyn Clark.
and speaking of brand, and the WNBA's brand of basketball is not good. So
no,
she's going to change it. Like I said, she's going to change this to where that slow post, put the ball in the post game. It's going to be out. It's going to be out the window, as you can see with the young players in college coming in. It's going to be a faster game. It's going to be a faster game, and they better get on board with it.
Well, you can just see that because college women's basketball seems to be getting more publicity right now, and they seem to have a more exciting brand of basketball than the WNBA, which shouldn't be because the WNBA has more talent. Theoretically, that's the way it is in all the other sports. The pros have more talent than the college players, so people tend to want to watch them because it's the best level of competition. But I don't know, Rob. We'll see what happens next year. They're going to try to hold Caitlyn Clark down. Meanwhile, she's just dragging the league up to popularity, to heights they had never imagined they could get that quickly. So, anyways, I thought this was interesting, and it's good for the WNBA, and it also just shows you the Caitlyn Clark effect, which is all this basically is. At least 90% of it, I think, is Caitlyn Clark effect. So, but they're not gonna admit that. Yeah. Less than 50% Caitlyn Clark. They're always going to throw in all these other storylines. No, we'll give them a little bit of credit.
Right.
Everybody else, but the other players, yeah, of course, the other players have helped grow because the finals got good ratings and all that. So people did want to see Afisa Collier go up against Brianna Stewart, stuff like that. Asia Wilson just turned people off with her personality, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
So, anyways, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think why this growth took place and what you thought about the fact that, hey, it's a great accomplishment for the league and for Caitlyn Clark. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. And we had a good, lively show last night, our live show. It's every Monday, 6 to 8 Eastern time. You can join us for that, and you can call in if you want. And except for major holidays, we don't do it. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below, and there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.